Yep, we'll wait one more minute here for some less people to come in.
And for those of you who are just joining us, if you have any questions at any time during this webinar, please feel free to throw those in the chat or the Q&A functions, and we'll do our best to have Mark answer those at the end of the session. Thank you all for joining.
Yeah, well, I think it's time. So good afternoon, everyone, or morning, depending on where you are. My name is Paul Meyer. I'm the editor of AcresUSA magazine. Today's presentation and Q&A session, this webinar will focus on the process of transitioning to USDA certified organic production. So this webinar is sponsored by OCIA International, the Organic
Crop Improvement Association.
Organic Crop Improvement Association. I'm so sorry, I did not write that out. An organization dedicated to providing farmers assistance in doing exactly what we're discussing here today, which is the journey to certifying organic certification. And this webinar is also being supported through USDA's new TOPP program, TOPP, the Transition to Organic Partnership Program, which is a new initiative that's providing support to farmers who wish to transition to organic. And it specifically includes funding for certified organic farmers to serve as mentors for new and aspiring organic farmers. So we'll talk just a little bit about that today as well. Our presenter today is Margaret LaBerge, who's the president of research and education at OCIA. Marg wasn't raised on a farm, but she started learning about organic food after having major heart surgery in 2005. She spent most of her career teaching accounting and computing software programs at several colleges in the Northwest. And then a friend introduced her one day to an organic organization that needed assistance, which happens to be OCIA. And when she retired from teaching, she continued to work with OCIA and has been able to mentor many farmers in the organic certification process and understanding the regulations and the financing around that. And 3 years ago, she took on this position as I mentioned, president of research and education at OCIA. So the format for today's webinar will have Marg give her presentation for 20-25 minutes or so, and then we'll have about 15 minutes for Q&A. And as Hannah mentioned earlier, please type in your questions into the chat function here within Zoom, and we'll gather those and ask them to Marg after her presentation is over. As Hannah mentioned, this webinar is being recorded and will be available within the next few days at our YouTube channel, AcresUSA. And of course, you can find out more about AcresUSA, our magazine, our books, our live events and such at acresusa.com. So with that, thank you, Marg, for being here today, and take it away.
You're most welcome. Thank you very much for the introduction. So hi, everyone. I hope you're having a really good day and a good week. So I'm happy to present this webinar for you on transitioning to organics, to certified organic. So I want to start out my presentation by talking about what is organic agriculture. So it's whole system farming. It's an approach that promotes an ecological balance and conserves biodiversity. It's healthy soil, which is the foundation of organic farming. Pests and weeds are controlled by crop rotations, soil improvements, birds and predator insects, row covers, and of course, labor. But is organic for you? Organic crops are grown without the use of chemical pesticides or fertilizers. Organic farmers build healthy soil, fertilizing and building the soil's organic matter through the use of cover crops, compost, and biologically based soil amendments. Organic meat, dairy products, and eggs are produced from animals which are fed organic feed and are usually allowed free range and outdoor access. So why go organic? Since 2006, the organic market has tripled in value and increased dramatically every year. $61.7 billion was the total organic sales in 2022, according to the Organic Trade Association. Consumers want a healthier and sustainable lifestyle. As an organic farmer, you'll rely on energy efficient and cost-effective fertilizers and pesticides, such as manure and legumes. Low-cost inputs plus premium sales provide a higher profit for your lifestyle. In other words, show me the money. So the organic sales in 2022, here's a chart showing from 2013 to 2022. So the green bars are the sales increase in organics since 2013. The blue bars are the incremental growth. You'll notice that the growth hasn't been gigantic, but the sales are dramatically increasing every single year. So the organic market grew despite challenging headwinds, such as inflation pressures tightening consumer wallets, the supply chain disruptions caused by the pandemic and global political events, a proliferation of competing food labels in the grocery aisles, and a labor shortage felt acutely by organic producers. Inflation heated up costs and boosted prices in the grocery aisles. They also heated up costs across the organic supply food chain, and not just organic, the entire food supply chain. So the organic sector grew 4% in sales value compared to 2021. Total organic sales, including non-organic products, hit a record $67.6 billion. So non-food products would be things such as shampoo, makeup, other items like that. The Organic Trade Association reported that certified organic accounts for 6% of total food sales in the US. So if you don't think there's room for you, there's lots of room for you. So organic fundamental values remain strong, and consumers have demonstrated they will come back time and again because the organic system is verified, it's better for people, the planet, and the economy. So the Organic Trade Association report provided even some higher statistics, or some more statistics for us. So the number one organic sales was produce, totaling $22 billion. Organic beverages totaled $9 billion, coffee $2.3 billion, but organic dairy and egg increased 7% to $7.9 billion. And guess what the number one produce item was? Apples. So what are the farm products? So the top 3 farm products on the OTA list was corn number 1, soybeans number 2, barley and oats tied for number 3. So the Organic Foods Protection Act of 1990 is the law of organic production, and it's made up of 3 separate entities. The first is the National Organic Service Board. It provides consultation and advice to develop the organic certification program, proposes substances to the national list, and assists in the development of standards for substances to be used in organic production. Then the National Organic Program, which is the final rule and defines the organic method for producers and handlers. The national list is a list of approved and prohibited substances. So these 3 separate entities make up the Organic Food Protection Act. So how can you get started? Implement organic practices. Stop applying any inputs like fertilizers and pesticides that are prohibited in organic production and handling. Some land, such as fallow or pasture, may be certified quicker if you can show that at least 3 years have passed since prohibited substances were last used on that land. The NOP has developed educational guides covering organic practices, certification, and regulations for each type of organic producer to include crops, livestock, and handling or processors. Explore financial and technical assistance for conservation. Several programs are available through the Natural Resources Conservation Service, to include the Environmental Quality Incentives Program Organic Initiative. It's for planning and implementing conservation practices that address natural resource concerns and for opportunities to improve soil, water, plant, animal, air, and related resources on agricultural land. The Conservation Stewardess Program is for maintaining and improving existing conservation systems and adopt additional conservation activities to address priority resource concerns. And the Agricultural Management Assistance Program for managing risk and solving natural resource issues through conservation. So we've developed a series of steps for you to follow to become certified organic. So the first one is gather information. Talk with organic producers around you. They are a wealth of information and have been through the transition procedure. Attend on-farm organic field days. Network with other attendees and speakers. Go to an organic conference or trade show and speak with the certifiers and their staff. Ask as many questions as you can think of. Become familiar with the USDA organic regulations and handbook. This is really important knowledge to gain, especially in the areas of organic farming that you are interested in. So you can research it at www.ams.usda.gov/rules-regulations/organic. And I think that will appear in your chat box. Read organic transitioning manuals and books. AcresUSA has a wonderful variety of handbooks and reading materials on every aspect of organic agriculture. Step 2, decide if a certified organic is right for you. Remember, no prohibited materials can be applied to your land for 36 months or forever as long as you stay certified organic. It provides verification that the operation is following the organic standards. It allows for the use of organic labeling. It involves annual paperwork, record keeping, and inspection. But there is one exemption. Producers that have organic sales less than $5,000 a year and are in compliance with all organic standards may use the term organic, but they cannot use the USDA logo. So step 3, apply to the USDA TOPP program. In the fall of 2022, the USDA announced investment of up to $300 million to launch the Organic Transition Initiative. It's a suite of programs to support transitioning farmers to organic production. The Agricultural Marketing Service just launched the Organic Market Development Program, and it's to help expand the organic agriculture supply chain. So on the right-hand side, the USDA has partnered with trusted local organizations to administer the TOPP program throughout the 6 regions of the United States. So we have the Northwest, the West, Southwest, the Plains, the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic/Northeast, and the Southeast. So let's talk a little bit more about the TOPP program. Sorry, keep stuttering on that one. I don't know why. But it is farmer to farmer mentoring. It helps out with education and technical assistance on agronomy. They will help you with certification and any extensions that you need, conservation planning, business development, regulations, and marketing. So partners work to connect farmers with mentors. So the skills for the mentor that is required is they must be certified organic for at least 3 years. They have to be currently certified and fluent in the language of the mentee. They must be able to fill the time commitment of mentorship, willingness to engage in problem solving, and a desire to give back to the farming community. Let's go back to show me the money. Mentors receive a stipend of $3,000 per year. But a mentor can mentor more than one farmer. So they can mentor them as a group where they're sharing information with more than one farmer in a group. So in this case, they would get $4,000 per group per year. Or they can work with multiple farmers at a time on one-on-one sessions. So in this case, they would get $3,000 for the first mentee and $2,500 for each additional mentee. You can apply or get more information at ams.usda.gov/services/organic-certification/TOPP. So back to our steps. Step 4, start keeping records. A field history form needs to include the history of each field for the past 36 months. And this is every individual field. So a field is determined by a crop. If you have more than one crop on a quarter of land, then you have more than one field. You need a map of each field, and this should correspond with your field history. A prior land use affidavit is required to be completed by a former landowner if you haven't managed the land for a minimum of 3 years. Clean down records for equipment and transportation. And this is if you're going to use both organic and conventional crops in your equipment or transport. Research organic seed suppliers in your area. Find out the types of seed that will grow best in your soil and your weather conditions. Step 5, research certifiers. There are approximately 80 agencies authorized to certify farms and businesses to the USDA organic regulations. Most certifiers are allowed to certify farms and businesses anywhere in the world. So check out www.ams.usda.gov/resources/organic-certifying-agents to view the entire list of USDA accredited certifying agents. Gave you a couple of samples of some that are in the Nebraska area, which our office is based out of. Some certifiers offer transition programs. So most farmers will transition on their own, but however, there are transition programs out there. They're like a scaled down version of organic certification paperwork. They will have an on-site inspection and then a letter stating the year that they will complete their transition. It's peace of mind knowing that you're on the right track. Some certifiers have foundations, such as OCIA Research and Education. Our mission is to support organic research, facilitate connections between farmers, researchers, consumers, and decision makers, and educate producers and communities regarding organic farming and foods. So we give away microgrants to organizations that would like to complete research or just educate children, adults, communities, countries with organic, certifying organic. And these grants are in the amounts of $500 to $3,000. We also offer scholarships to students that would like to do organic research. So we give out $1,000 per year. We have Farmer of the Year awards, and we do have a mentorship program and have had for several years. So OCIA Research and Education is a nonprofit charitable organization that was formed in 2003 by a group of certified organic growers to address the needs of more organic research and education. Since its inception, we have awarded over $80,000 to individuals and organizations across the globe who are conducting projects pertaining to organic farming. Each year, we recognize an outstanding organic farmer, and many beginning farmers have been paired up with certified organic growers through the R&E mentorship program. So just talk a little bit about some research that has been done recently. Asta Gutman from the South Dakota State University did an organic field trial on naked oats. She aimed at evaluating the extent of rancicity development in naked oat genotypes during storage. We had Will Bailey Elkin from the University of Manitoba, who did a study on increasing pea acres through intercropping. He wanted to understand their impact on weed suppression, grain yield, plant growth and quality, and profitability. And then we have Renee Murphy from the California State Polytechnic University. She wanted to know the beneficial effects of vermicompost. So she evaluated the effects of vermicompost. She used worm gold on romaine lettuce, growth characteristics, and pest resistance of aphids. We have a lot more of our projects on our website, www.ocia.org. Step 6, understanding the certification process. So you'll start off by contacting a certification agency. Submit the application and organic system plan and any other documentation that they require along with your payment for your fees. The certifier will review your application. If it's complete, they will proceed with an on-site inspection. Then you'll have to respond to any questions that come out of the inspection, and then receive a decision or your certificate when you are fully compliant. So this is just a schematic of how the system works. So you're the applicant. You send all your documentation into your certifier. So the first question that the certifier asks is this application complete? Are all the questions answered? Even if you don't have an answer, you need to at least put in not applicable or no or something in the space. If it's not complete, it goes back to the applicant. If it is complete, it goes on to the pre-inspection review. So if the pre-inspection review is approved, it moves on to a site inspection when they call an inspector. If your pre-inspection review wasn't approved, it goes back to you to fix and then comes back to us again. So then after your on-site inspection, the inspector will complete all of the certifier's documentation and send it back to the certifier. So a post-inspection, file coordination, and third-party independent review will then be completed. So this is where you will often get questions about your application. Did your inspection match everything you said you were going to do and still follow the regulations? If it did, you'll get your decision and your certificate if that's the level you're at. If it didn't, then it goes back to you again, and you need to update the answers to some of the questions and send it back to the certifier again. But do know that you don't go through all the steps again. Whatever step you left off at, you go right to that step again. You go back to the top of that pile. So a bit of information. This process can take 4 to 6 months on average. It depends on how quickly you answer the questions. All certifiers will give you 30 days to answer questions, But if you take the 30 days, it will take longer to complete your application. An annual review is required to stay certified organic. So this is a process, it's an annual process that has to be done. Fees can range from a few $100s for small, simple operations to several thousand for more complex operations. Changes must be updated on your organic service plan and approved by your certifier before you apply any of those changes to your system. So what's the purpose of an inspection? It's to verify that what is written in the organic system plan is actually occurring. They are the eyes and ears of the certification agency. They watch for areas where the risk to organic integrity may occur, and they are to observe, verify, and report to the certifier. So the inspector will observe all fields of your operation. This includes transitional, conventional, everything, organic, whatever you have. They will look at all your equipment, your storage areas, your farm facilities. They will check the records maintained by the operation. They will perform a traceability audit. So this is making sure that you have all of your documentation from seed to sale. And they will perform an inventory balance of the crops produced, less what has been sold, to balance out the crops remaining on hand. So it's a very thorough inspection. Step 7, look into your cost share program. Even in transition, there may be cost share reimbursement funds available. Currently, 50% up to $500 is reimbursed for full certification. The certifier will provide a paid receipt, and then you will contact your farm service agency to get your reimbursement, or you can go directly to www.fsa.usda.gov/organic. Step 8, get your soil right. Many complications can be avoided with a good crop rotation and by understanding your soil. Have a weed management plan in place, which includes a multi-pronged approach. So a diverse crop rotation that mixes up the seeding times and harvest times assists with types of in-season weed control. Perennials added to your rotation make it easier to manage harder weeds. And in-crop mechanical management tools like interrow cultivation, tine harrowing, and other items like that are other methods. The basic components of healthy soils are minerals, organic matter, water, and air. Step 9, find a market. Search for buyers as soon as you know what you're going to grow. You can sell wholesale to a distributor, farm gate, or a farmer's market. Developing your market early will ensure success. Step 10, labeling. Specific requirements are used for retail and non-retail labels. Proper specifications are needed to be able to use the USDA seal. Get your labeling guide from your certifier. So there's 4 different types of labels. We have 100% organic, which is used to label any product that contains 100% organic ingredients, excluding salt and water, which are considered natural ingredients. We have organic. This is any product that contains a minimum of 95% organic ingredients, excluding salt and water. The 5% must be approved on the national list and not commercially available as organic. Made with organic whatever is the product contains at least 70% organically produced ingredients, excluding salt and water, with a number of detailed constraints regarding ingredients that comprise the non-organic portion. In this circumstance, though, you can't use the seal at all. And then we have specific organic ingredient listings. So these specific organic ingredients may be listed in the ingredient statement of products containing less than 70% organic contents. For example, ingredients could be organic barley, organic beans, organic tomatoes, and so on. But you cannot use the seal nor use the word organic on the label. It can only appear in the ingredient statement. Other help. DriftWatch, www.driftwatch.org, is a voluntary communication tool that enables producers, beekeepers, and pesticide applicators to work together to protect specialty crops and apiaries. Certifier chapters. Some of your certifiers will have separate organizations that are what would you call, like at arm's length, maybe? These chapters provide assistance to their members with documentation, record keeping, even helping you fill out your application form if you need it. There are apps available out there. Vegetables for vegetable growers. I have a friend that used that one. Farm logs for crop farmers, or Agri app. I don't usually recommend apps unless you're willing to take all of the training to get the most usage from the app. I find that people just are not successful unless they're willing to go the whole mile. But it's your decision. You can convert your land in stages or all at once. Create a plan to transition other parts of your farm over time. Remember, transitioning takes 36 months from the last application of prohibited substances. So if your land has never ever had prohibited substances on it, you can apply right away and you won't have to wait the 36 months. You have the potential to improve your farm's soil health, protect the environment, enjoy better health, and support your family through higher profitability. Going organic is much easier than you think. I know I've given you a lot of information today, but it's nice to always know what you're going to get into. But the process itself is not that difficult. And with the new TOPP program that's available to everyone in the US, this is a major breakthrough for organic certification. Thank you. So the one thing that, just before we do the question and answer, is I'd like to give you my email, which is ocia04.re@gmail.com. If you have any specific questions or concerns, please feel free to email me and I would definitely be willing to help you out. And our website again was www.ocia.org.
Thanks, Marg. Yeah, that was a lot of information, but I think it was some great information. And real quick, before we get to the Q&A, I did want to give a plug for a couple of events that are coming up. These are in coordination with AcresUSA and with OCIA and the TOPP program. There are two organic field days that are free events. If you're in the area, there's an Intro to Organic Ag field day at Sunshine Farm in Fairview, Oklahoma on Wednesday, June 28th. So that's about a week from today, a week from yesterday. There's a similar event, an organic field day at Menoken Farm in Menoken, North Dakota, and that's on Thursday, July 20th. Again, those are free events. You can sign up at events.acresusa.com. In addition to those events, we have some AcresUSA specific events coming up in August, two different ones, one in Wisconsin at Gary Zimmer's farm, that's 15 to 16 August. And then our 5th annual Healthy Soil Summit in Monterey, California, 23 to 24 August. And then of course, our big event for the year in December 4 to 7th, our EcoAg conference in Louisville, in Covington, Kentucky, right outside of Cincinnati. So with that, and all those events are at events.acresusa.com. So with that, I do have a couple questions. So Marg, you talked some about the TOPP program. We had a question about how TOPP, if TOPP works with the Real Organic project. Is that something that you'd be able to comment on?
I believe it's working with all projects that are available right now because it's a USDA sponsored event. So I don't know a lot about the Real program myself. We don't have that through our organization, so I'm not really super familiar with it, but I would assume because it's a USDA sponsored event, it would be available to any organization or any activity that's going on.
Yeah, my understanding of the Real Organic project, it's a separate standalone certification. So that doesn't have anything officially to do with the TOPP program, but it could be something that, you know, folks can certainly do in addition to organic certification. You talked a little bit about some of the research that you're doing there at with some of the different programs at OCIA. Do you have a little bit more detail on maybe one or two of those? We have a few more minutes.
Sure. Okay, so I'll talk about the naked oats one a little bit that Asta Goodman had done her research on. So she wanted to know the length of time, like that naked oats would last in storage. Okay, so most oats are grown, they're hulled, right? So those hulls have to be taken off to be able to use that oat as food. Sorry, not feed, food. So the fatty acid content significantly increased at the 9 and 12 months after harvest for all genotypes, indicating the occurrence of lipid hydrolysis in the grain samples. The genotypes were significantly different for all tests performed, suggesting that the extent of lipid hydrolysis and oxidation differed among the genotypes evaluated. However, all constituents remained under acceptable limit after 1 year of storage at room temperature, suggesting that the extent of rancidity development in the samples was low. So this was really good information for people that want to grow oats for food instead of feed, right? It's with a naked oat. On the peas were planted in both sole and mixed stands. And when compared to the pea monocrop, growing them by themselves, the pea plus the high rate of barley intercropping significantly reduced the average pea biomass by 25%, indicating competition within the pea barley mixture. However, there were no significant differences in the total crop biomass among all 4 treatments, indicating that a similar level of net primary productivity was met throughout all 4 treatments. The pea plus low rate barley, pea plus medium rate barley, pea plus high rate barley intercrop mixes significantly reduced wheat biomass by 21, 35, and 44% respectively. So talk about intercropping working to help out with the weed problem. When compared to the pea monocrop, the pea and high rate barley intercrop significantly reduced pea grain yield by 16%, indicating competition within the pea and the high rate barley mixture. So therefore, by incorporating a 50% seeding rate of barley into a pea sole crop, a farmer may reduce their pea grain yields by 16% while potentially reducing their weed biomass by 44%. So it sounds like a lot of technical stuff, and of course you have to realize that these people are going on to be agronomists and scientists of agriculture, but it's amazing the research that's being developed out there. We have probably had, I'm guessing, I don't even know the number because we just keep approving more and more every year, but we've probably done at least 10,000 different research trials. And there is so much more out there to cover. Every year, something else is going on in our environment, our weather, whatever, to, make it so that more and more things could be researched to help the farmer out. And all of this information we share with our farmers. We have presentations by those that we've awarded the scholarships or the microgrants to every year at our annual general meeting, and they actually tell everyone what they did, how they did it, and what was the result. So it's something that we share with all of our members of our organization. So there's lots on our website. You can check it out at any time and feel free. Or if you have a research project, you have my email address. Please feel free. It's available to anyone in the world. We've had some in Nigeria, we've had some in the United States, we've had some in Canada, in England, most of Europe, Japan. We have had research projects all over the world, and happy to help out.
Yeah, that's great. And just to confirm, just really quickly, we're in the last minute here. So this, you don't have to be a researcher to apply for these research grants.
Absolutely
This
not.
can be farmer citizen research, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
The only ones that you have to be a student with is the scholarship. The
Right.
microgrants are available to anyone. Yes.
Great. That's great to know. So that's all the time we have. Thank you so much, Marg. This is
You're
great.
welcome.
We are going to be doing some more of these coming up, webinars associated with OCIA and the TOPP program. So that information will come out to you through email, through AcresUSA. And I just wanted to say again, you can learn more about OCIA just at ocia.org. You can learn more about us, about our magazine, about our events at acresusa.com, and our bookstore as well that Marge mentioned, that has a lot of titles related to organic agriculture, regenerative agriculture. And then the TOPP program itself, the website's a little convoluted, but if you just Google USDA TOPP, TOPP,
Right.
you'll find it. And more information. That's a new program, new information, more information will be coming out. So thank you again to everyone for attending, and
Yes,
have a
thank
great
you.
rest of your day.